Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dubden Darji. Let's pay homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight, Padma Kumara from the Maha Twin Lotus Bonds, Sumo, Tanchen Katso, Tutan Siti, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? These are greetings in different languages: Cantonese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, Japanese, Today we practice Padma Kumara Deity Yoga. Padma Kumara has been explained many times. There's no need to talk more about him. Otherwise, it would only be repetitious. Just now, we watched the animation video prepared by D.B. Boye Foundation, talking about karmic love connections from many lifetimes. And it's not just those belonging to Padma Kumara, but to all of us. We all have many karmic love connections from many lifetimes. I often said, don't think that today, right now, we are modern people and ancient people. Actually, before we were also ancient people. So now these modern people are connected karmically to the ancient people. Every one of us has it. Now we are modern people, but in the future, you will become the future people. Buddhism talks about karma, cause and effect, causes and conditions from many lifetimes, life after life, lives after lives. So many lifetimes. We often talk about three lifetimes. Those are just representative of the past, present, and future. But there are many past lifetimes, and there are also many future lifetimes. Unless in Tantric Buddhism we say that you become a Buddha in one lifetime by practicing Tantric Dharma. You are liberated through one lifetime and attain Buddhahood in one lifetime. But in other schools, you become a Buddha after many lifetimes. Like Kala Chakra. It's Kala Chakra, right? Through him, you can attain Buddhahood in 7 lifetimes by attaining Kala Chakra's empowerment. So, after receiving Kala Chakra empowerment, you will be reincarnated 7 times, and then in one of the lifetimes, eventually you would become or attain Buddhahood. So it talks about Buddhahood in 7 lifetimes. So it showed that previous lifetimes are numerous. So love, karmic connections. Human beings always have lots of feelings and love. So there are many intermingling of these connections inadvertently. And recently I have written 2 books. One is this, Samsaric Affections, and the other one is the Full of Moonlight. I'm not sure the exact English name that they use for that one. And these are all related to the karmic love connections. So I will not talk too clearly, otherwise you will not buy and read the books. So I want to leave it mystical. What is love? There's the saying. Anybody knows? I asked the world what love is, that people can live in life and death for it. Recently, Simu, Guru's wife, often told me, she said, she told me, because she's sick, right? Her body is sick. So it is unavoidable to talk about who's leaving first. Is it me or is it Simu? And Simu said, if Simu leaves the world first, she will be staying around to take care of me. and would be like this. She would be back to give me massages. So I joke with Simu. I will do protection. The light protection enveloping me so you cannot get near me. You want to massage me? She said that she will definitely come back even after she dies. She will serve me still. And I said, I will do a protection. And Simu said, I can break the protection. So we will compete and see who's stronger. That's why I cannot teach her all the Dharma methods. I have to keep some for myself, otherwise I would be massaged. I would be given massages. Let me share a joke. A man told a woman, if I became a director, can you become my main actress? And the woman replied, but I'm not beautiful. And the man said, no worries, it's a horror movie. A lady in college and wrote a letter to her mom to ask for money. And the reason is I have a new boyfriend and been dating 6 times and I have worn all my clothes. So I need a new dress. And mom replied, why don't you just change the boyfriend and then you can wear them again? Now we'll do the question and answer. From Taiwan. Lotus, please do not disclose my name. Grandmaster, peace. I have these questions. In the era of internet media, videos are more popular than text, and text is more popular than books. Many young people nowadays seldom read books or sutras. Or any writings. So we often find books or sutras left to turn yellow. So the sutras are left there to become yellowed or placed outside or damaged. We feel it is such a pity For no one seems to appreciate such a treasure, because the sutras are treasures. I once saw boxes full of printed sutras and books in temples. Most of them are covered in dust or damage. Therefore, I would like to ask the Guru Buddha whether the merit of printing sutras is the same as that of sharing on the internet the contents of sutras, scriptures, grandmasters' books, quotes, or creating videos to benefit more sentient beings. So in the past, people say that by printing sutras and good books and given free for everybody, but he thinks that nowadays people rarely read printed books or sutras. They usually just use the internet or to listen to it. So the question is, the merit of printing sutras and the merit of listening or sharing on the internet. What do you think? We should comply with the era, right? Everybody now is on the internet. So to propagate on the internet versus on the media or newspapers or magazines should have generated the same merit, in my opinion. In my view, they should generate the same merit. It is true that in many temples, they have printed many sutras and good books to distribute to people, but nowadays not many people read them because most of them get on the internet. But there are still people who like to read printed books, like myself. But some people read on the internet, especially younger people. I think the merit should be the same. Please do not disclose my name. It's not so important, is it? It's nothing personal. The same merit. In the past, I got True Buddha News or our Enlightenment magazine, Ranteng. If I'm in Taiwan, I would take the old True Buddha News and Enlightenment magazines and go to the Earth God temples and leave them there so that people can read them. When they go praying and they see the True Buddha News or the Enlightenment magazine and would just take them. There are still some people who read them. And in America, you can take them to in front of the restaurants or in front of the convenience stores, together with many free newspapers or free publications. So we can put our True Buddha News there too. One time, Fo Chi dined at a Western restaurant, a very high-class restaurant. And while dining, they had a special bread made wrapped in newspaper. And when Fo Chi took a look, it turned out to be True Buddha newspaper. So it's used to wrap bread. Although he moved here when he was in kindergarten, he understood, or he could recognize a few that was True Buddha News, because there was my photo on it. And it was used to wrap a piece of a loaf of bread at the Western restaurant. So that's also benefiting, widely benefiting sentient beings. So the merit is the same. All kinds of propagations should comply with the era. Media is very important. So through the media or the internet, but books are still important. Some people still read books, like myself. And I gain a lot of knowledge from reading books. If you read e-books or on the internet, it would be harder on the eyes. And it's better if you read printed books. It's not so bad. A young man took a test on behalf of somebody else and got caught and was put into jail. And he was asked, the inmates asked, "How did you get in?" And oh, you wouldn't believe it, I got in through a test, because of a test. These things happened before. I don't know about now. Probably. Because someone does really well in test and always get the good grades, so he's very desirable. And then other people who get the bad grades but have money, and when they look alike, would ask another person to take the test, and the examiner cannot tell. So, especially for college entrance test or high school entrance tests. This is a joke about Taiwan, only meaningful about Taiwanese. Two kids chatting in kindergarten. Ding Ding asked Mimi, "Is your dad bigger or mom is bigger?" And Mimi said, "Of course mom." Why? because when they argued, a dad would say, yeah, this is like your dad. And mom would say, your grandma. Yeah. It's only funny if you understand Taiwanese. Of course, grandma is more senior than dad. It's also a joke about taking a test. Mom texts her son, take the test with a cool mind. I found your connection, very big support. But you still have to go through the process. And the son replied the text, really? Thank you, Mom. I will take my test. Who's my supporter? And Mom said, Wen Chang Di Jun, which is the God for study. That's your connection. That's pretty funny. It's only funny for Chinese or Taiwanese. Now we will expound on the Vimalakirti Sutra. Now we are talking about chapter 2. The sutra is spoken by Vimalakirti on skillful means or convenience dharma. Now we are talking about he penetrated the dharma gates, perfected the wisdom, and mastered convenience dharma to fulfill wishes. He understood the mind of sentient beings and their interest, and can clearly discern their varying spiritual capacities. Everybody should understand this text. This referred to the lay Buddhist Vimalakirti, that he could understand the interests of sentient beings. Or the likings. This interest is often talked about in the Buddhist sutras. This word, interest, the so-called 6 kinds of interests of human beings, like desires, also the interests of human beings, like wealth, sex, name, food, sleep, play. Those are the 6 interests of human beings. Like some people like money more, some people like sex, and some people like name, and some people like food, some people like sleep. Of course, it's good. Sleep is a good thing. Some people love to play and have fun, wander around, many of them. And Vimalakirti knows the interests of every person. So he understood the interests in the mind of sentient beings. So by seeing a person, he would know immediately what they like. And he can also discern the varying spiritual capacities. The intelligent ones are called the sharp ones, and the stupid ones are called dull. Everyone is different in this world. If you're clever, generally speaking, how can you tell if someone is smart or not? Typically, we look at the eyes. The facial reading, the eyebrows for brothers, the eyes are for wisdoms, the forehead is for the blessings when at youth, and the center part is at the middle age, and at the lower part of the face is for the older age. And here at the temples are about your romances, about your beauties. And the tip of the nose is about your wealth. So the hall of wealth, the hall of brothers, the hall of wisdom, and this is the hall of followers and servants. How many people will help you? You can tell from here. And this is the hall of romances. So this is the physiognomy, facial reading. Chinese like to do this. And after you shave your hair, you can see the wrinkle, and you can see how many spouses you have. Between the hair, there should be like a line, here a line, and here a line. Then it shows how many wives you have. This is a secret. You know, I'm exposing the secret without asking anything from you. But you will be able to tell by looking at it. And the eyebrows, from the eyebrows you can tell how many brothers or sisters. For your wealth, it's the tip of your nose. For your lifespan, it's from your ears, or this line here, between the nose and the lips, the upper lips. This is called Ren Zong, between the bottom of the nose to the upper lip. So you can tell. There are marks on our bodies. And how many children will you have? We can tell also. And how about your love life? We often look at the palm, the lifeline, the career line, the love line, the intelligent or wisdom line, they're all there. Are you smart or not? Can tell from your fingers. The eyes on your finger joints. See, they're eyes. Everyone have them. Everyone has them. If those eyes, dull, then you're dull. Then you're dumb. But if the eyes have eyelashes on your palms, you have eyelashes on your fingers, and the more lashes there are, the smarter you are. This is also a secret, and it's free for you. I'm sharing it with you. If someone is smart or not, and you can tell from the palms right away. The eyes on your palm. How many eyebrows are there? Then that's smart. But if there are only 2 lines and no lashes, then they're stupid. And usually the skinny people are smarter than the fat people. The Taiwanese often say that if you're big and heavy, then you're dumb. Why? Because they only know to eat. Until they are heavy and fat, then they look dumb. But the slim ones, or rather, are smarter. So Vimalakirti could discern the various spiritual capacities, the smart ones and the stupid ones. Of course, he did not use his physical eyes to discern, because Vimalakirti had 5 kinds of eyes. And the eyes who discern are called the Dharma eyes. To discern the spiritual capacities of sentient beings are being discerned using the Dharma eyes. Then you would be able to tell if someone has superior spiritual capacity, middling, or inferior spiritual capacity. Even when you're smart, there are also either superior intelligence or middling or inferior intelligence. And Vimalakirti knew, because he had 5 kinds of eyes. The first kind is the Buddha eyes, the highest kind. The second one are the Dharma eyes. Or the wisdom eyes. So the fundamental wisdom, the wisdom of discernment, and the all-embracing wisdom. That's the wisdom eyes. And then the wisdom of discernment is the Dharma eyes. And then the third eye or divine eye, that you can see faraway places, the heavens and the earth. And last is the physical eyes, which are the mundane eyes. Those are the 5 kinds of eyes. And Vimalakirti had them all. He had long trodden on the Buddha path, and his mind was spotlessly and resolutely on the greater vehicle. What is the Buddha path? In one word. The original face of human beings. That's the Buddha path. What is the Buddha path? Is the original face of human beings. A disciple came for spiritual consultation and asked Grandmaster, Grandmaster, where did I come from? And in the future, where will I go to? Then you would need to know their past lives, to where, or the origin. Where did I come from and where will I go to? You need to know this. So Vimalakirti had been on the Buddha path for a long time. What does it mean? So the lay Buddhist Vimalakirti was a bodhisattva. And long ago he knew about his original face. And that was the Jinsu Tathagata. And he knew himself that he was the Jinsu Tathagata. That's his original face. And Grandmaster's original face, Grandmaster had also long trodden on the Buddha path, because I know that I was Padmakumara, the lotus youth. And I came from Amitabha Buddhas. Guru Padmasambhava also came from Amitabha Buddha. Sariputra also came from Amitabha Buddha. Why Sariputra came from Amitabha Buddha? Because when Sakyamuni Buddha spoke on Amitabha Sutra, he spoke to Sariputra directly. He did not talk to any other disciples, but he did talk to Sariputra. So Sariputra came from Amitabha Buddha. Based on his spiritual root and his original face, a sutra would be spoken to the disciple. So there was a reason why Sakyamuni Buddha spoke on the sutras. Been long on the Buddha path, Vimalakirti knew already that his original face was the Jinsu Tathagata. And his mind was spotlessly and resolutely on the greater vehicle, pure or spotless. Nowadays, our minds are not pure. It is contaminated. Our mind is complicated. Nobody has a simple or single thread. then you can accomplish anything. Lao Tzu said, if you can be single-pointed, then you can accomplish anything. If you only have one mind and you are single-pointed and single-minded to do it without any other distracting thoughts, then you can be reborn in Sukhavati. And then if you can be single-pointed, you will have attainment. Because nowadays it's good enough if you can only have 10 thoughts, because actually your thoughts are very complicated. But Vimalakirti was very pure, which means one, which means completely pure. So his mind had been completely pure long ago, and no flaws or contaminants in it. And it's rare to have such a person. Typically, people would think about wanting to play, to hear somewhere, and you want to earn more money there. Or they think about this and they think about that. And today we have this girlfriend, and then the next day another girlfriend, and then another one. It's keep changing. The same for the woman. They keep changing. That's not pure. But Vimalakirti is pure, spotless. And pure. So Vimalakirti's mind is completely immaculate. Only goodness and virtues or good for the sake of sentient beings, to deliver sentient beings. That is good or virtuous. Why did he come to Saha world? Is to help Sakyamuni Buddha deliver sentient beings. That's called virtues or good. So after we have attainment, what do? We help the world. What does it mean? It means in the Saha world, we transform and deliver sentient beings. So you use your pure self to deliver sentient beings in the Saha world. That's this pure and virtuous means. And resolutely on the greater vehicle. What does this mean? This resoluteness is actually non-regressing. Like if we generate a vow to deliver sentient beings, and then all of a sudden you give up. Today, from today on, I will not do it anymore. Then you're not resolute. In deliverance of sentient beings, you cannot regress. You cannot go back on your words. You have been ordained, and then you return to home life. That means you regress. So, returning to home life is a regression. Or you become ordained, but you don't cultivate spiritually. That means you also regress. Because once you're ordained, you should cultivate spiritually. Otherwise, what use is ordination? Just to get by and sleep and slacking off and you don't want to practice today, you don't cultivate today, that means you have regress for the day. So you become ordained and just to live as before that, then it's meaningless to be ordained. Or if you say, I don't want to do it anymore, that means you have regressed. And the disciple of the three jewels, you say, I don't want that to be anymore. Because as a disciple of the three jewels, you have to abide by the 5 precepts. You cannot kill, lie, steal, commit sexual misconduct, or be intoxicated. And then if you don't abide by them, that means you have regress. So the lay practitioners too can regress. And the ordained people should abide by the 8 precepts, not the precept pick. At least 8. But there are many of them, 250 or 500 precepts. So resolute means non-regressing. On the greater vehicle like the car, which means you widely deliver sentient beings. In the past, this lesser vehicle or Hinayana means they only deliver themselves. They don't care about other people. They just wish that they have attainment themselves, and other people's attainments are, they don't care about other people's attainments. That's the smaller vehicle. They focus more on meditation and precepts. And the greater vehicle or Mahayana emphasize more on wisdom and meditation, 2 of them. So precept, meditative suitability, and wisdom. And the Hinayana stress more on abiding by the precepts and meditation. And Mahayana emphasize more on wisdom and also meditation. And Mahayana has different ways to abide by the precepts, but not as strict as the Hinayana, because they, Mahayana practitioners need to deliver sentient beings, so they blend with the sentient beings. So you don't abandon sentient beings, but Hinayana keep apart from the sentient beings. So Mahayana blend or enter or together with the sentient beings to deliver them. So they deliver more people than the Hinayana. So the difference between the greater vehicle and lesser vehicle is one deliver more people and one less. So in the ancient Buddhism, the upper court, they are typically the Hinayana, and at the greater or middle court would be more Mahayana. So Vimalakirti was non-regressing on his wide deliverance of sentient beings. So that's the greater vehicle. All his actions were based on proper considerations. So everything that Vimalakirti did were based on proper considerations. Generally speaking, every one of us has consideration. Today, the fruits that we ate sweeter or more tart, then you can consider or compare. And when you buy fruits, You can tell. You can consider which ones are sweeter or more tart. So every one of us has this consideration. And also the lesser vehicle or the greater vehicle, they both can consider. So to deliver sentient beings, you need to consider them well. So you consider based on the wisdom of discernment or the fundamental wisdom or the all-embracing wisdom. Then that would be called the good or proper considerations. Every one of us do have our consideration, how to do this, and you compare and consider whether you use the fundamental wisdom, the wisdom of discernment, or the all-embracing wisdom. And if you use the three wisdoms to consider, that's called the proper or the good consideration. And his mind is as vast as the ocean. On earth, what is bigger? Not the land, but the ocean. The ocean to the land is 4 to 3. So saying that mind as vast as the ocean is just an analogy, which means has a broad mind. And we say that the belly of a minister can embrace a ship. So the great spiritual cultivator, of course, has a broad mind and a broad heart. They would not care about little things, and doesn't matter what other people say. Everything doesn't matter. The guru who shaved my hair, the great monk Guo Xian from Hong Kong, Gui Qian Si or temple, he shaved my head. And he often said this: one is okay, and sometimes it's okay, no big deal. It's fine. He never cared about those. Only that is heart, mind as vast as the ocean. Heart and mind as vast as the ocean. Like when Grandmaster is giving spiritual consultation, I will not remember whether you give me a red pocket or not. And if you just leave after consultation, I don't care. It doesn't matter whether how much you gave, it's inside the red pocket, right? Whether it's $1 or $100, it doesn't matter. I never look either. It's voluntary. It's up to you. And even if you don't give, it's okay. I will not go after you and say, oh, you didn't give me anything. There would be a small mind. And you even notice that? No, not me. I wouldn't know if you gave or not. If you do, or you place it on the table, or you just turn around and laugh. Or later on, you realize, oh, the red pocket is still here, and you ran back and said, oh, sorry, Grandmaster, I didn't give you earlier. Oh, I didn't even notice. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's mind as vast as the ocean. If someone comes, it doesn't matter whether they stand or sit or kneel. It's fine. It's okay. Whether it's fine, whatever you do, standing, sitting, I don't care. There is no rule coming into my spiritual consultation room. None. It's whatever you like, whatever is comfortable for you. We spiritual cultivators should have heart and mind as vast as the ocean. If somebody scolded you, it's fine. The great monk Guoxian in the past told him, oh, you did this or that, and he said, it's okay, no problem, it's fine. They don't care about anything. The heart is as expansive as the ocean. Whatever other people said, or whatever you saw, or whatever you see, they will not keep them in mind or in their heart. So the heart and mind as vast as the ocean, and spiritual cultivators should be like that. And next, he appeared in the Buddha's impressive bearing. Naturally, in spiritual cultivation, when you reach a certain realm, their movement, their speech, in Tantric Buddhism we say, what they say, everything they say is mantra. The thoughts are visualization. Their movement is all mudra. Any movement and action is a mudra. So this naturally appeared as an impressive bearing. A guru has the bearing of a guru. An ordained person would have the bearing of an ordained person, a monk or a nun. So a monk and a nun also have a certain awe. And the lay practitioner also have the look of an elderly. Like when you're old, then you would have that kind and compassionate look. That's the bearing of a lay practitioners. Or the look of a mother should be motherly and kind. And then the look or the bearing of an ordained person should be kindness. Look at the Buddha statues. They all have that bearing. And the protectors and the Vajra protectors or Herukas, they have that formidable bearing, which is what it should be. And the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, they lower their eyes with compassionate look. The Buddhas sit there and they look down. And we say that they have a very kind eyebrows and very kind eyes. And the Herukas have the formidable, wrathful bearing. And Bodhisattvas compassionate towards sentient beings, so they have that compassionate look. So all the appearance or the look so because Vimalakirti is the Jinsu Tathagata. Therefore, he had the appearance of a Buddha's bearing, although he was a lay Buddhist. A bearing of mannerism, and the heart and mind as vast as the ocean. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. It doesn't matter. Anything is no big deal. I remember one time, I think I wrote it in the book. I was in Taiwan. I saved lots of money. And a disciple came to borrow money from me, and I knew that it would never be returned. I knew that. But I still loaned it to him. At that time, he used a cloth bag. A rugged bag. And I saw him carrying it on his back. And I've never seen him ever since. So this lay Buddhist, everybody knew him. The early disciples knew this person. So, but it's okay. Why did I loan it to him? Because indirectly he helped me with one thing. So that's why I thought I owed him something, so I loaned him all my money. And so he carried the money in that sack, cloth bag, cloth sack. And one time during a consultation, someone told me that he was very poor. So I opened my drawer and I gave all the money from the drawer. And that was all given away. And it's fine. I don't even remember his name. And I don't keep it in my mind. So the heart and mind is vast as the ocean, because money is an external thing. In Malaysia, I was wearing a Rolex watch, and he said, "How could a monk wear a Rolex watch?" And that was the reporter, so I told the reporter, "It's okay whether I wear it or not, so let me give it to you." So I took it off, since you talked about it, that I was a monk and I shouldn't wear a Rolex watch, so I'm giving you this Rolex watch. And he didn't want it. He didn't dare to want it, and he ran away. That happened in Malaysia. But in my mind, if he had wanted it, I would have given it to him. And Teresa Wei told me then, you know, that rock that you wears on your finger, and you said that's a rock, why don't you give it to me? And I said, okay, you can have it. And I was taking it off, and she said, no, no, no. I was just joking. But if at that time she said that, could you please loan it to me to wear, then I would give it to him. It's what's that called? It's ruby. It's not ruby. So if it's a big one, it would be $1 million US. That was a little smaller. It's a kind of jewels, like pink, bright pink, kind of like ruby. See, I can wear or not, it's up to me. See, I only have a watch to see the time. Oh. This is also a good watch, or rubelite. That was a rubelite. And this is a good watch given by a disciple. It's Patek Philippe or Piaget? Cantonese. The Cantonese. Or Piaget, studded with diamonds and platinum, and it's made of platinum. This was given to me by a disciple, a rich disciple from China. So the dignified appearance of the Buddhas, all the Buddhas have that impressive bearing and mannerism. And all of these deities, even the Herukas, the Vajra protectors, like Skanda has a very good look, or Sangharama. Typically speaking, Sangharama only exists in China because the great master Tze, in his meditation, saw this Guanzhong Dijun, the emperor Guanzhong, to brought many soldiers in the netherworld to protect. And from then on, Sangharama is a protector of the temples in China. Skanda exists in all Buddhism, but Sangharama exists only in Chinese Buddhism. Not so in the Buddhism in India. So they have their own specific bearing. The sculptors can sculpt the appropriate look and bearing. So when you have attainments in your spiritual cultivation, your posture and bearing will naturally appear. A female colleague had a bad mood, so and changed her line contact, mistress. And then the next day, one didn't come, one's absent, 2, 6, and 3 was being beaten. And the reason is because they saw the line of this mistress. So please don't just use any nicknames you want. After fighting with the wife, Zhang walked out of the house. And soon after, it was raining hard, and he got completely wet. And the phone rang, and he looked, and it was the wife. And the wife said, "It's raining hard outside, so just come back." And so he's very touched. But the wife added, "I wish the thunder would strike you to death." Oh, Mani Padme Hum.